If they had Anunoby, Randle, and Brunson, they would have a chance of going to the East Finals. I think without Randle, that chance does not exist. That's what I'd say. The Knicks have been just ravaged by injury, including this major piece in Anunoby that they had gotten. We finally got the news, and you and I talked about it earlier this week, where I brought up the Josh Hart quote, and I was like, Kev, I don't like this. I don't like this. There's never any positive news about the Randle thing. It's just a bunch of guys talking around it, and we're hopeful, and if we get him back, it'll be pleasantly surprised. And it's like, dude, this guy's not coming back. And then finally we get the news that he's not coming back, and he's getting shoulder surgery. But this is dragged out for a long time to be hopeful for no reason. They tried to do this. They tried to do that. Like, it's just, the guy wasn't going to be able to play through it. And I feel like, they had so much success after the Anunoby trade. They had won those 12 of 14. The numbers were crazy. The numbers with OG and Brunson have still been outstanding, but obviously they've had to navigate without OG Anunoby. I love that Knicks team. I thought they're super dangerous. They need Randle. They do. Like it, and it's on a game in, game out basis, you can fill it in with Josh Hart, you can fill it in with Bogdanovich, you can fill it in with all those guys. When it gets playoff time and now it's sellout on Brunson time, it's like, I do need another guy that's going to be able to go get me buckets. And I know he's had some playoff struggles.
Exactly. He's been
I get
awful.
it, Kev. I get it. 15
games with the playoffs for the Knicks. 34% from the field.
I got it.
28% from three. A thumbs down to the crowd. A bunch of stinkers.
I got it. But, Kevin, there are 5 guys in the NBA that have averaged 24, 9, and 5. The other 4 are literally the MVP list. It's Jokic, it's Giannis, it's Luka, and it's Embiid.
I know.
And Julius Randle.
I know.
So, yep. I mean, it's a lot to lose. And I think that during the regular season, you can navigate without, but you need a release valve, man. Even if it's not, and I do think that, maybe he would have a better chance. I think even then, when we've last seen him in those playoffs, he is miscast as a playoff Batman. There's no question he would be the playoff Robin to Brunson. And so my hope would be that he would have been able to be more successful with a elite level Jalen Brunson.
Which Brunson is right now.
With another release valve in Anunoby. Like, they got better players than they had when he has played in those playoff games. Go look at those playoff rosters and then tell me that Julius Randle stinks and he should have carried the Knicks. And it's like,
he was terrible in the playoffs.
I got it.
He was horrible.
Those teams weren't good.
Yeah, but he was terrible.
I got it, Kev. I got it. You told me the same thing about Drew Holiday, too.
I mean, Drew Holiday has been bad in the playoffs offensively. That's a fact.
I got it. But I believe in him, too, when it comes to, I don't think he's going to be terrible.
Because he's an excellent defensive player. And he's also in a different role right now for Boston than he was for Milwaukee, too. That's a completely different
Look,
thing.
Julius Randle is wildly miscast as the best player on a team.
Yeah, I mean, we agree. And we agree that they are better off with him. I'm just saying that for the Knicks, he's been horrible in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else. He's been bad in the playoffs. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay, but you think they need him. Look, in order for them to pull an upset, which is what they would have to do in order to get to the East Finals, I think with Randle, if they had Anunoby, Randle, and Brunson, they would have a chance of going to the East Finals. I think without Randle, that chance does not exist. That's what I'd say.
What if
Their
I told
numbers
you
when they had those three were crazy?
What if I told you that you would have gotten the same version of Julius Randle you got in the past 2 postseasons? Do you still think that this team, minus that guy, that there's not a chance that somebody else steps up in this case? Like, listen here.
Okay.
Like Miles McBride, the way he is improved offensively. You got guys like DiVincenzo who are getting more shots, more 3-point opportunities. Is it possible that if OG Anunoby is the guy who comes back, with him getting closeout attacking opportunities, stuff within the flow of the offense, more on Brunson, is it possible that the Knicks are better off in the situation, that it could actually end up a blessing in disguise that you don't get Randle back? Because there's no guarantee that you don't get that Randle again. You might have gotten that Randle again if he came back. You might have. Now, this might be who he is in the playoffs, where he just craters. He might be that guy.
I saw them with Randle, Anunoby, and Brunson.
I know. But I'm giving you this scenario. Is it possible that this could end up being a blessing in disguise for this Knicks team? No. Okay. All right. So you don't think so?
And I was in love with the Knicks, but they needed Randle back. Their number with those 3 guys on the court, Kevin, were insane. And Randle is required to do less when they have the 3 of them. So I would not expect him to be a playoff nothing, because he's got guys with him and is required to do less and gets less attention. They had like a plus 26 net rating with those 3 guys on the court. They were devastating. It worked perfectly. And so you need it. Again, and I'm not talking about like a first round series if they play Orlando or they play Cleveland or whatever. I'm talking about when you get to, for the most part of the season, they've been in that 4 or 5 slot. So if they got out of that and had to play Boston, that's when to me it shows up that you don't have somebody else. If I'm going to stick, if I'm going to make Jalen Brunson's life hell, who is that other guy that can be the release valve that gets less attention and can make me pay for getting less attention? It sucks. Sucks for the Knicks.
I mean, it was a bunch of guys tonight against the Kings. They blitzed him, trapped him, got the ball out of his hands, and everybody on the Knicks ended up benefiting for it. You had Josh Harko, 14 of 19 from the field. Your guy, 31 points.
Love him.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think their chances are diminished without the ceiling that Randle could provide. But I also think that the Knicks do have a lot of talent on the roster, that there's a chance here that if they were to get the version of Randle who's detrimental to your team, which is especially possible after such a long absence, there's no guarantee it would have helped this team. It is possible that other guys can step up.
Oh, and you could be better defensively, which is what Tibbs, and you may just grind out these games. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not putting a worse defensive player on the floor than him. I just worry about the scoring. That's all. That's what I worry about. I don't doubt that the Knicks are going to be able to grind you down and make your life hell and make it hard for you to score. I just don't know if they can score enough when it comes down to it. When they've looked bad, they've looked really bad.
Yeah.
Offensively. And
sure.
If I'm just game planning against them for 7 games, I think it makes it a lot harder for them.
I'm with you. I mean, like, we're on the same page. I just think that there's a chance that this could be a silver lining for them for this particular season. It's too bad Randle got hurt in the first place and we didn't get to see them healthy, and they still need to get OG.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, they got a lot. I mean, also the tests tonight against the Kings are not exactly going against the 86 Bears. You're going against a subpar defense in Sacramento, about to fall to the 9 seed and potentially lose against the Warriors and have them end your season for the 2nd year in a row, but this time in the play-in. So for the Kings, it's unfortunate that they're in this position. Monk out for the year, Herter out. It's just unfortunate the way, they might not even make the playoffs. They might not. And, we'll see. There's still a handful of games left. There's still only 2 games back from the 5 seed, but they're also only a half game up on the 9. And 2 games up, by the way, only on the 10 with the Warriors.